Welcome to Warsaw and join me as I fly back to London Stansted Airport on the Boeing 737 MAX 8-200 with Ryanair. I'm flying from Warsaw Modlin Airport today, which is about 55 minutes from the centre of Warsaw by car. It's not a very big airport and it looks like Ryanair is pretty much the only user. It's okay for an hour or two before you catch your flight. Well, it didn't take long to tire of the Modlin Airport, so I was glad when we got to board. Here we are, boarding via the stairs, which is a really retro approach, but I rather like it. If you want to book a seat, I'd certainly recommend booking seat 2A, and here it is. Look at all that leg room. It's an odd configuration, and here's the inside of the cabin too. Very yellow, so very typically Ryanair. Now here's our steed for the day. This Boeing 737 MAX 8-200, just a year old. Ryanair is one of the few operators of the 737 MAX 8-200. Its sister companies Air Malta and Buzz Air use it too, and I believe there's an airline in India that has one example. It is a very snug configuration. They've fitted 197 seats aboard, and that's come at the cost of legroom. I'll come back to that a little later on. Following a taxi that Lewis Hamilton would probably have been proud of, it wasn't long before we were at the end of the Modlin runway. Right, let's turn this music down and listen to the roar of the engines as we get underway. Rotate. Here we are, getting airborne from Modlin. The engines are a bit noisier than I was expecting for a new generation jet, to be honest. Anyways, that didn't bother me, and here we are, getting well underway now for our flight back to Stansted. Ryanair calls this aircraft its game changer. I'm not quite sure what it means by that, but long story short, they've fitted in more seats, which probably makes it much more profitable for them. But the legroom, wow, it is really, really tight. Just bear that in mind when you fly. Now don't worry, it's not all bad. You do still get to control the air vents. There's not much else to say about the interior though. The seat's pretty basic, there's no headrest. You don't get a seat pocket, there's nowhere to plug your phone in to get power, and there's no device holders, so it's all rather low cost, which is, to be fair, exactly what Ryanair stands for. Here we are, joining the pattern for Stansted Airport. Nice bit of cloud surfing there, and it gives me a chance to reflect on my flight with Ryanair today. Ryanair are unashamedly a low-cost carrier, and that's ultimately the service that you get. Yes, the seat and the cabin are basic. Yes, you pay for pretty much everything, window seat, baggage, etc. But the reality is you know that before you book, and I have to say, their app is actually, in my opinion, better than BA's. There, I've said it. Equally, Ryanair flies into airports which tend not to suffer with congestion, so flying into Stansted is a treat when compared to the delays and challenges you have at London Heathrow, for example. and down with a bump for a firm but safe landing at London Stansted. Would I fly Ryanair again? Absolutely. They got me to my destination safely, the cost wasn't too bad, and yes, of course, they're a very basic airline to fly with, but that's kind of what their model is. My real complaint is simply the legroom. This is their brand new aircraft, and yet the seat pitch, which if you check Aerolopper, is just 28 inches in places. That's really, really tight, particularly if you're flying for more than a couple of hours. And enough about my legs. So it just leaves me to say thanks so much for watching my video. Do please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks again for joining me, and see you next time.